Welcome to the podcast. Now that I'm engaged, how do I get married? I'm your host, Kevin Dennis.
And I'm August Joker, co-host and brand manager at Fantasy Sound Event Services.
In addition to leading the charge at Wedding IQ, I also run Fantasy Sound Event Services, a lighting and entertainment company based in Livermore, California, that I founded over 35 years ago.
Each week on this podcast, we'll explore a new corner of wedding planning so you can prepare for your I-dos without the stress.
From budgeting to booking vendors to the day of drama.
Let's talk smart wedding planning.
All right, folks, welcome to another episode of Now That I'm Engaged, How Do I Get Married? And we have the one and only Julian Ribinik with us. Julian, how are we doing?
Doing great. Hey, great to be here again. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. So Julian is a photographer, like a famous, like award-winning photographer I just recently saw in New York City with Julian Ribinik Studios and also with BioPrime Wellness. So Julian is here today to talk about how to plan ahead to get the most out of your photography experience, which I don't think a lot of people plan ahead. So I think it's good that we're going to be talking about that here today. But before we jump in, Julian, tell us a little bit about yourself and how we got you here today.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I have been a wedding photographer since 2007 or 6, and I'm forgetting about it. And I started in Israel. Then I moved here to New York City, and I've been ever since. We are working all across the United States, most of it New York City and Miami. And we typically specialize in giving the real life experience, showing emotions, making sure that people experience the wedding from the other side, and not missing on any experience, at least as much as we can transfer, as much as we can show, and we're going to touch on that. But my motto is like experience the wedding and don't try to show off.
Oh, I like that.
Because all you will have is the memories. And if the memories are the cake and your florals, that's nothing much you will remember from that.
No, that's a good advice. Also, you're a health coach. We got to touch on that. Been since 2018, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And then
that was a confirmation.
And been making, and then he actually got me to stop drinking. I drink water now, not iced tea like I used to. So
This
it's
is salt.
I give you credit everywhere and anywhere when everyone asks me for an iced tea, and I say no, I just need water. So anyway, thanks.
He's working very hard on it. Very hard.
I do.
Great.
I do.
Well, improving lives.
All right. So we're here to talk about wedding photography, sir. So how can you share why the wedding, planning ahead is so important when it comes to wedding photography? I think that's the part I think a lot of couples mess up on. They don't plan ahead.
Absolutely.
Or don't know what to do, really. How to plan ahead.
Legitimate question. I think there's a lot of involved in wedding planning, and couples really approach it the way that, we need to have certain vendors, we need to have certain timeline, we need to have a planner, or I'm very type A and I don't need a planner, which is the worst for the type A, actually. I find it the person who like the most down to earth and they like the most relaxed, they are the ones who don't need a planner because they wouldn't care in the end. But this is not what we're talking about. And people do not really get into the details of what they're doing. They're like, oh, I want nice florals. I saw that on Instagram. I want a great photographer. I saw something of that similar style. But unless you got married or unless you are in the industry, you really don't know what is involved in your day. You don't know what is involved in photography specifically, and it probably goes for most disciplines of the wedding industry, right? Because every single vendor that has major impact has more than just I came and I left. And there are multiple touch points and there are multiple things that you need to kind of know what you're doing when you are hiring a vendor. And people usually are not having any idea. And when they're being told, oh, you should have done this, or maybe you should think about that, they are like, no, I'm fine. It's like, again, coming like, oh, like I'm type A and like, I got it until
Mhm.
the wedding day. And then they realize, oh, shit, like all of that is true. And now I'm stressing and I'm working on my wedding day instead of enjoying it. Um, and with photography, it's not different. It's
Yeah.
it's probably like anything else in life. Like, I want to save money. How are you going to do it? Like, you need to find a job. You need to allocate certain budgets. So like, for anything, you need to, like, even, going to school, you need a plan for that. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed. And with photography, there are so many different things that people don't know about. Uh, and it also comes from somewhat maybe previous centuries or decades where people like, I hired a photographer, he came, he left. I had 40 pictures. And there are countries that are actually doing that same way.
Really?
Yeah, like, so I'm from Israel. I know the
Yes.
background and I try to get and work in Israel. And I realized I can't
Oh.
because these people book a wedding photographer on WhatsApp maybe a week before,
Wow.
and they don't care who it
Wow.
is, what they're going to do. They just, they care. I will have photo, I will have video, I will have an album. It's very standard. All weddings start at the same time and at the same time.
Do they
Everyone,
really?
yeah, people get
Wow.
same standard of photos usually. They
Yeah, so I
sometimes
guess
don't.
that like personalization trend that we have here in the US is doesn't happen over there.
Correct. And it's not just US. Like, if you go anywhere in Europe as well, there's like higher end, there's always personalization.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And there are just markets that it doesn't exist.
Hmm.
It's like you come, you go, and you send the photos, and they don't know any other. Like, they don't know the difference.
Right.
But also, like, those photos look like exactly like that. Plus, we in US, we do have a lot of things happening. There are some countries where you don't have anything. Like,
Mm.
it's just a party. Photographer comes, takes some portraits, shoots the party, and goes. Like, there's no timeline, there's no cake, there's no parent dances, there's like nothing like that.
Mm.
And the
Not
only
a
two
lot of the
people who wear
traditions.
informal attire are bride and groom.
Oh,
Right?
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Nice.
Like,
wow.
yeah.
Not as fluffy, I guess. No
No,
formalities or
no. And
anything.
sometimes it
Yeah.
involves the climate as well, right? So, but
Mhm.
we are unique, but we are not unique because like higher end or luxury wedding industry is all over, and it's growing and knowing. And it's not to say luxury, but it's still like, if you're in US, you need to plan things.
Mhm.
Um, it starts with the like, what do you want? What style
Yeah.
you looking at? How do you want to feel? And I always start my call with clients like, how do you want to feel on your day, after your day, and before you getting married? Do you want to be connected to people you work with? Do you want to, have certain atmosphere through your photos? Do you just want a bunch of pictures? Um, and our clients don't. They want to
Yeah.
have an experience. They want their emotions to be captured. They want to be able to experience their own day during the day without being pulled to different places without the need. And then after, they want to have all that experience that you probably will not get without planning.
Mm.
If you don't have a planner and you're not planning yourself, you are very much in the danger of hiring someone who doesn't know what they're doing, or
Yeah.
to them, every single client is just same thing. People who work with
Mhm.
templates. Um, and luckily for newer generation, Gen Z specifically, they're very particular. They're looking at different like reviews, details. They want to know exactly what is happening, who they work with. But our client, our ideal client, and a typical client for years always been like that. And we develop personal connections with a lot. So you really want to know why you want a wedding photographer.
Mhm.
if your answer is just, I want some photos, then you probably want to take friends with the phones and you'll be
Yeah,
totally
anyone
fine.
could do that.
Right? And sometimes better than a photographer who you're going to pay $2,000 to because they want to justify the expense on the camera. You want to understand what your wedding venue looks like before you hiring a photographer or a florist or anything like that, because it has to match. We have a lot of couples who come to us and say, we're still looking at the venues, we don't have the date, but we just price shopping.
Mhm. Yeah, it
And
happens
there's
to us
lesson.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
happening more and more, I feel like.
And it's hard
Uh,
to move forward. Like, we can't really do anything on our end until you have a date.
Correct. So first of all, if people do that, we usually know it's not our client. That
Yeah.
said, they might be not our client or someone else's client just because they're not educated enough. And if they knew everything they need to know, they might have been an amazing client and they would have an amazing result. And maybe they won't, because there's people who simply don't know what they're doing. They're like, a photographer is a photographer, right? DJ is a DJ. They play music. They don't know what goes into that. That they don't know that there's a timeline and DJ needs to be able to execute and light up the people and direct the flow. It's same with photographer. So they have trends in mind. They saw something on TikTok, they saw something on Instagram, and they say, oh, like we just like this style, and they showing one photo of a couple covered with a veil.
You're like, that doesn't
Which,
tell me enough. I don't get enough information
right.
from
And like we're
that.
looking for someone who can do that, which everyone can do that. So you post it on Reddit and like you have 5,000 response, like, like that's me, that's my style. People should be looking at the style, not in terms of, oh, like I like the picture, but you have a venue. What is your style? Why did you go for that venue? How does the lighting look like at that venue? Does that correlate with whatever you saw online or whatever your friend has recommended you or whatever photographer you met at a different wedding on the beach and you getting married in a dark bank space?
I was going to say probably time of year too dictates some of that.
It does. It does. I wouldn't say a lot. Like, I wouldn't say that matters a lot if you are in a specific geographic location.
Okay.
Right? Because if photographer works in there, right, they probably should be outside and inside. That said, you want to look at the photos outside and inside in general, and you want to look at the photos with different type of lighting. So in the winter, it would be actually easier to shoot because it's overcast. So when it's overcast, you have no shadows, you have no bright sun, no one is going to squint, no one is going to sweat. It's fairly easy, and the only suffering person will be photographer with like frozen fingers, which is a different skill. But people do tend to catch up to something that they've seen without knowing anything, but that they like the photo and the followers count, because that's important. So they find someone with 20,000 followers and beautiful bridal portraits, and they say, this is what I want.
Crazy.
But does their vision match what that photographer can deliver too?
It can, but many times it's not that. Many photographers, they try to get business, they do styled shoots, they have beautiful couples in their Instagram, and it's usually portraits. And if we look at many like high count followers profiles, you will see a lot of photographers with beautiful couples and not much else. It will be a beautiful elite in a beautiful setting, in a beautiful people. Most people are not models. Most weddings
Wait
are
a
not
minute. What are you
happening
talking
in
about?
Tuscany.
No,
um,
but that's a good point, Julian. It's like if I'm looking at a page, I want to see people that look like me, like
Me.
people in my area, people that I could picture myself in that photo and have that feeling that you're talking about.
right. But some people are like you, and they will be very realistic, and they will say, "Oh, it's all beautiful people. Something is wrong, or maybe
Mm.
he doesn't shoot people like me, or maybe
Oh.
it's actually like it's not real when it's person real, the person is
Oh,
realistic, right?
yeah.
Oh, because
Because
it could
if
be
we look,
AI now, huh?
I hope most
I
people can differentiate because it's
oh.
very seen. It's very seen. It's like it's very
Yeah.
perfect, and sometimes people have 7 fingers, but
No, but
um,
I think it stems back to too where you were saying in the beginning, like a staged photo versus a candid photo. And I do think there are benefits to styled shoots, but I do think there needs to be a way for couples to be able to filter through that and know which photographer they want to choose.
absolutely, I don't think couples can filter through that.
Mm.
Vendors can, some.
Mhm.
It's very clear that New York photographers cannot filter through that because they look at others' Instagram and like, oh my God, like all those people, they doing all those amazing things, which we all know are not really the way
100%.
they
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
Um, but the some people have aspirations and they look at like, oh, like I want to be that. And they think
Mhm.
that they can be that. Some people are very self-conscious and some people like, no, right? And they think maybe that if I go with this photographer, I will look exactly like that.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but and this is where planning goes into. It's not like timeline thing. It's more of if I have this type of venue, I need a photographer who actually can execute. So I like this person photos. I want to find in their portfolio, and you always, and I'm talking to you guys who are planning weddings. You should be able to look at the full body of work without rushing to any decisions. Just like when you take in mortgage, just getting proposal like yeah, I'll go with this bank. You go and
Mhm.
you check and all the conditions, and then more often than not, you're going to go through multiple before you find something that is correct. Just like with venue planning, you will find beautiful things which don't cost much, and then when you start digging, like oh, I will end up triple that with the price just because of all the little things that I want to add, and without it, just a space. So with photographer, you really want to dig because it's really easy to show beautiful things. I can
Mhm.
pay 3, 5, 6, $10,000, go to a beautiful location, have 10 beautiful couples, fill up my portfolio, and start booking.
Mm.
And then I will come to a wedding in a venue which I cannot shoot at because I never shot in this type of space. Or, and I see that happening, um, where people hire someone for less money because they love the personality and they love the vibe with a photographer, which is very important. And that's a part of planning. And it's very important to have a vibe with the person because you're spending the whole day
Yeah.
with them, or 3 or 5, depending on what type of wedding you have in destination. But if you have a multi-day event, in a multi-venue event, and maybe you have many things happening at the same time, and you hire a person based on their photos, you actually don't know if they can execute that.
Mm.
Right.
And this is where probably high-end luxury space is. It's not about having beautiful pictures, because we will be frank, if you have experience, if you're a seasoned photographer and you're shooting for a while, if you're given a great looking couple in the great looking attire, in the great looking location with the beautiful decor, you will have beautiful pictures, and it will be easier to execute it in a great way than to fail. because it's really hard to fail with modern techniques.
Right.
Question is, will that photographer be able to estimate the amount of manpower they need? Will they be
Mm.
to execute the logistics of that? Will they have right equipment for all those things? Are they familiar with those traditions?
That's big too. It's, traditions, I imagine.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
That is, especially if you're like on either coast
Mhm.
and not in the middle of United States. If you're like doing regular weddings in, I don't want to say Texas, but like somewhere like Oklahoma, it's probably all the same and all looks
Mhm.
the same. North Carolina, I lived there for a while. But if you go on the coast, like you have multiple cultures, you have multiple formats,
Yeah.
you have multiple venues, destinations, climates, and you need to be able to execute in multiple spaces. We had a wedding this year in a very beautiful New York venue, which is very famous and very aspirational. People love it, but it's a small space. It's like
Mm.
100 people space. You don't need more than two photographers there, nothing like that. Uh, but this couple had sister venue that is the mirror of that venue nearby. It's in Rockefeller Center, 610 and 620 loft. And they wanted to mimic a drone shot, and they had a lot of decor. So if I would be coming to that place with just like, oh, I know the venue, I've been there. I shot a couple of weddings. It's a small wedding. I need two photographers. It took us 6 months to plan, and it took me six photographers for
Oh,
that wedding
wow.
to execute that.
Wow.
Wow.
Um, because I did very deep research, I understood what they want. I went to venue multiple times, and the planner told me, you have too many people.
Mm.
And in the end, it was barely enough. Either
Oh,
like,
wow.
we got it, but I would use
Interesting.
another person.
Mm.
Um, so many people, they don't know how to do it. If we're talking cost, there's a lot of California and New York weddings that are being done by photographers who are being hired because they're cheaper and they look on the Instagram, their work looks beautiful. So someone will hire someone from Tennessee or from wherever just because the work looks beautiful. And these people come to New York. Oh my God, what am I doing? Because they,
Yeah,
they,
well,
they don't know
Yeah.
and that
about,
happens here. That happens here a lot.
yes, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
taking traffic into the account,
Mhm.
multiple locations, not understanding like local logistics. People are being lost. Um, and all of that, again, needs to be taken into the account. So on one hand, it's great to have someone who is lower priced. And I'm going to bash a little bit,
Okay.
and I'm
We
going to
like
be
bashing.
get a little salty.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
there are certain communities on Reddit, which is very like the place to go now.
Mhm.
There's communities called Big Budget Brides. I'm sure everyone heard about this. It's a great read. If people want to see what brides think, it's really a good place to go and even ask different questions. But many times there's talk like, oh, there's, like Josevia has photos just like, a guy from my town. Why would I pay 40K when I can pay 4K?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of agreement there. Like, yeah, like we looked at the portfolio. It all looks kind of the same. It's nice and light and airy. And we'll be frank, if you go into photographer communities, there's a lot of the same talk.
Oh,
Hey, like,
really?
why does someone like Josevia charges whatever they charge? Because I can do the same or better.
Hmm.
And it's true if you're looking at a single photo. It's true if you're looking at a single, location. But these photographers, they don't understand what is going into shooting a wedding that is multicultural, multi-venue, multi-day, things that happen at the same time. How many people do they need? The delivery times that,
Mm.
you
Mhm.
have 12 weeks. or people deliver in 5 months. Here you need
Mhm.
to deliver in 3 days. Can you deliver in 3 days?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, you're paying for the experience. You're paying for that photographer.
yes, for the service, you're
Yeah.
paying for the experience. You paying for lack of stress and the
That's a
thought.
good point. Lack of stress. That really is a
Yeah,
good point.
you're
Peace
paying
of
for the
mind.
result. Yes, and this is why people who try to save money usually end up being stressed and working on the wedding day and like have to be involved in everything and being ending up unhappy. While people
Mhm.
who just trust their vendors and pay accordingly, they just get the result
Yeah.
without worrying.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of that as well. Uh, so when planning is happening, we need to take into account all of it. It's great to have person you're vibing with because you're going to spend all day with them, but you need to
Mhm.
really understand and see full galleries of several weddings in a setting similar to yours, unless you have something very, very simple.
Mm.
And then you don't. If you're getting married on the beach and that's all, or you're like in the forest or in the like ballroom, it's very easy to execute.
Mhm.
If you're looking at something that is a little complicated, you really want to know that. And I do want to stress this fact that if we look at portfolios of most photographers, you will see outside photos in great light,
Mm.
even if it's not stage shoot, because it is easy. And also because most people assume that I need to show a couple that looks great and that's all. However, that part of the wedding where you're doing formal portraits is it can be 40 minutes, can be hour and a half, depending on wedding situation, whatever, but it's small fraction of the wedding.
Yeah.
It also doesn't tell how photographer is going to behave, how professional they are with their conduct, how
Mhm.
comfortable you will be, because maybe all that was really, really forced and a lot of screaming, how they will treat your family,
Mhm.
how they will execute logistics. And specifically, you don't know what's going to happen during other moments. Will they miss the moments during the ceremony? Will they
Mhm.
capture the reaction of the public, of your family while, you are getting married? Will they be able to capture the details? Your church is dark. Will they be able to get that?
Mm.
Your venue is dark, your venue is outside, there's no light, there's too much light, you getting married in front of the sunset. Can you see like pictures, images from the certain situation that is not the portraits to see can that photographer do all of that?
Execute. Yeah.
Because if you have nice portraits and nothing else, and all your moments are missed, or all of it it's blurred or like underexposed, overexposed, you basically don't have anything except portraits.
Well, and I see a lot of photographers nowadays doing everything on automatic. Like they're like from like I feel like I could be a wedding photographer, like because they have no skill involved, and they're just sitting there and rapid fire shooting. And I asked one recently. I'm like, "How long have you been doing this?" "Oh, just a couple months. I picked up a can," and I'm like, because there's no like you could tell the real the pros. They're playing with the lenses and they're like really setting it up. But these people are just like rapid fire shooting and holding it way up above their head and I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand that. But anyway, that's
Yeah,
probably for a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have a lot of and it's also it's important for the brides to understand how many years that person is in business,
Yes.
and that has to be validated.
Yeah.
The amount of followers on Instagram doesn't mean anything. The amount of
Mhm.
followers on TikTok doesn't mean anything because you can gain insane amounts if you're doing funny things,
Yeah.
like really funny, like not weird. And on Instagram,
No, yeah. You have one viral
yeah,
video and all of a sudden you got a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah,
followers.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is why that platform is amazing, and I'm like, I'm not
Mhm.
good at that. Um, but on Instagram, I know several people who can run really efficient ads, and they have insane amounts of followers, and they shooting weddings for 2, 3 years,
Mm,
Mhm. That's
and
crazy.
that can burn someone, right? Because you can pay for ads, be very consistent, know what you're doing with ads, go do some sales shoots, and pay for ads in Vogue, have
mhm.
Vogue logo, and there's the whole British Vogue thing
Mhm.
going. If you guys heard,
No.
no, no. So like, your sister was talking about it a lot. Megan.
Uh-huh.
We just went at the conference and she did the whole lecture about it. But it's pretty known. You can look at many photographers' profiles on Instagram. And you have Vogue, and like you will see
Yeah, I see
British,
that a lot actually.
or it can be India or something like they're like anything but US Vogue. Um,
Oh.
and if I show you my email box, I can search for Vogue and Glamour, you will see a lot of emails from
Questions.
them offering ads. You pay us this
Oh.
much, you get in
Okay.
this size of the feature.
Mm.
So they will post your photo.
And then
You will pay
therefore
for that for a while. And you can take that photo, make a post, put a logo and say, I'm in Vogue.
oh, wow.
And
I
many
mean, it
people do
does
it.
look good to someone who doesn't understand
Correct.
how that works.
Correct.
So,
Correct. So any planner will see through that. Most people
Yeah.
like that are like in the industry for a while, they know that, but the couples do not know that. And they
Yeah, they
see,
uh-huh.
oh,
don't.
that person is in Vogue. They must be great.
But it's
And
all paid.
yes, and
Well,
it's
and I'm
paid.
wondering, Julian, could you like shed some light for the couples? They're in the planning process, they're looking to hire photographers. I know you've said some already, but what are some questions they can ask a photographer to vet them? Because let's say they don't have a planner. I mean, obviously, getting a planner is the best thing because they can walk you through the process and you don't have to necessarily be the most educated in weddings when you're filtering through your vendors.
Yes,
But what
hire a
kind of
planner.
questions should, yeah, well, that first, let's do that. But in case they haven't, what are some questions they should be asking their photographer?
All right. So I think the most important is we are getting married in certain venue.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with that venue?
Mm,
And if not, can you show us something similar? Which is very, very valid, right? If you don't need to have the Plaza experience to shoot in Plaza, you don't need to have Cipriani experience to shoot in Cipriani,
mhm.
um, because being familiar with the venue itself and where each room is, it doesn't matter. Because a great photographer, they will do site visit, they will come before, like they will make themselves familiar, but they need to be able to work in similar conditions.
Mm,
And if photographer is showing you a bunch of, bright outside weddings or bright ballrooms and they cannot produce anything similar to those venues,
yeah, dark.
you probably don't want to work with them. And many people will hate me for that, obviously, because now like, oh, like how like you basically telling not to hire people. But it's your investment, it's your day, which you're probably paying a lot of money for, and you cannot risk it. So you don't want to give chances to someone who probably cannot execute that. Um, you don't, and like I used to be always saying, oh, like I don't need to go like to do a venue visit or site visit because like I got it, like no matter what. And now I changed the approach. Even if I know the venue and have been there 100 times, I will go and do site visit again
Things change.
It's true. Yeah.
to make sure, right, that my client is fully comfortable, completely stress free. We'll go through like this is how it's going to happen here. This is what we're doing here
Mhm.
to make sure that I am familiar with the current team at the venue,
Mm.
That too, yeah, totally.
and the process goes smooth for my couple. That we are the team on the wedding day, and not like I came, I'm taking photos, you do whatever. I want to come there and give full experience to my couple as a team. So there's no any hiccups. So I'm like, we're not asking anyone any questions except people who work.
Mm.
We want to make sure that even if there's no planner, if any problems occur, the couple doesn't know about them.
Mhm.
And that can only happen if I know who I'm working with. And just meeting them on the day off probably will not help. And sometimes you just don't see. Like as a photographer, you will maybe not see the catering or like the catering is like not catering hall, but like every venue has a catering director or whatever. Someone who sits somewhere in the office, you don't know them and you might not meet them, but they are the ones who are in charge. So if I have a problem, I might not talk to the staff. I will text the person in charge, say, hey, we have a problem. We need to fix it now, instead of running and like understanding like who will help me. And all of that comes only with familiarity, experience, doing site visits. So that is also important. So
Mhm.
ask your photographer if they will do the site visit. Like if I'm having a wedding in Miami at the venue, I don't know, I will fly and do the site visit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Well,
a
that
part
right
of the,
there is already such a huge difference with going with an experienced photographer versus someone who's only been doing it 2 or 3 years.
that is, it also comes with a price point, of course. But it really matters. Like when you're hiring someone, you want the experience and you want for that to be executed, and it takes a lot. You probably want to look at what photographer is posting online in terms of their not wedding content.
Mm.
Mm.
And nowadays, people post everything. And sometimes you will see people venting about clients.
Which is
Mhm.
not appropriate.
And if you see that, that's probably not
Red
your vendor.
flag.
That's a huge red flag, because if someone ever met any client that they wanted to vent off, like about, you shouldn't be hiring that person
No.
because they
Mhm.
are not professional. Are they venting about anything? Are they complaining about anything? Like if the person is not professional, you're risking not to have a good experience on the day off.
Yeah.
Um, always, if possible, look for an engagement session.
Th I think that's
Yeah,
the where couples really mess up on is they don't do the engagement session with the photographer. Because 'cause I've had couples in the past hire a photographer, do an engagement session with them, and then realize that's not the photographer for them. Because I feel like that's a good feeling out of for you with the photographer and vice versa.
Well, and it can
that's
be a positive too. Like if you do really like them, then that just means you've spent more time with your photographer and you're even more comfortable with them for the big day.
absolutely, and that is very necessary. Uh, Newer couples, like even like my type of ideal client, they don't like to show off. They don't want to be upfront. So they most of the time say like, we don't need that. I don't like be in front of the camera. And we're doing it like we're not charging extra for that.
Mhm.
We want to make sure that every couple goes through that, even for us, as selfish as it's,
Well, yeah, because it's probably a
is.
good time for you to get to know the couple.
Correct. Because if we worked together for that hour or hour and a half, they already understand how we work. I understand their chemistry, their personalities, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and maybe nothing works for them, right? And then we will find a way to build it, right? Um, they will know all the tips and tricks of how to look better. on the wedding day, even if to save the time, but it saves a lot of stress. It positions them in a place of like, oh my God, like I don't know this guy, how it's going to be, how do I look like? They already know how it's going to be. They already understand how it's going to look like.
Mhm.
Sans the attire, which is um it's just a change. We coach them how to behave on the wedding day. We coach them how to prepare. And it's definitely not really possible over text, over emails, over Zoom, because we show them what to do. In the beginning of every engagement session, I secure like 15, 20 minutes to sit and talk. We're
Mhm.
not going straight into shooting. We're sitting down with coffee or drink and we're discussing things and we're making sure they're comfortable. We're saying it's going to be awkward now.
Yeah.
And in 15 minutes, it's going to be less awkward. And by the time we're done, you'll be super cool with that. On your wedding day, nothing is going to be awkward because you did it.
Yeah, you're comfortable.
Um,
Yeah.
and it makes my job easier and it makes their day easier. And, and as you mentioned, in the end, if they hated the photos, they can cancel the contract.
Yeah.
If they don't feel comfortable with the person, they can get out of it. And many times they have deposit that or retainer that wasn't a lot, right?
Mhm.
Like no matter the market, it will be a fraction.
Well, it's a fraction to having a bad photographer on your wedding day, so that's the biggest thing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And we specifically, like, if you didn't like the photos, take your like retainer back because like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
Uh, right? Because I cannot, if experience wasn't good, I can't keep the money, right? Never
Yeah.
happened.
No.
Actually, it did happen once, but that was 15 years ago. Um, so to that point, that removes the stress, that prevents
For
from
everybody,
weird
really.
accidents. It also will show you,
Oh, I
oh,
like that. Good
will
accidents.
yeah, will that person be there on time?
Mm.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, right? Because if like my rule is I'm never late. I'm always hour earlier.
Mhm.
But that's me specifically. Um, 30 minutes early is also great. But if you aim to be there on time, you will always be late. And for me, like getting a text from a bride like, "Oh, where are you?" That would be like totally unacceptable. Like
I agree.
I'm parking, right?
Oh,
That's bad.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, and then think about the stress that photographer has. I'm parking and now I'm stressed out and now you're looking for me and now I'm not going to be very good for you because I'm just,
You have anxiety about it
yep,
yeah.
all.
yep,
Yeah.
and like they already frustrated, they're already a little stressed, and that will reflect in the photos as well.
Yeah.
No matter who
Totally.
you are, because they will think, oh, this guy is late. Like, oh, like I was running here, didn't make, and he's late, and and whatnot. Make sure that photographer you are hiring is very patient as far as you can see, because
Mhm.
you will have issues on your wedding day. Things will not happen when they should,
Mhm.
and you don't want the photographer to get nervous, right? Because that will reflect on their work.
Well, and it's going to reflect on you too cuz they're bringing their
Yep,
nervous energy to you.
yep. You want nothing but positive vibes around you on
Mhm.
your wedding day. You want to make sure that they even like they have the style that you can kind of vibe with in
Yeah.
terms of like what they wear, how they, like everything, because that's your team, and it's not someone who you will not see. You will see them all the time. So you need to be very comfortable with that person. You need to trust them, and then there's come the thing of what kind of output I want from my photographer. Yes,
Mhm.
they can shoot at that venue. They have experience. They're good with lighting. And now comes the style. And again comes that example of I have this photo of couple under the veil. What style is it? It's not a style. It's just a photo of two people doing something. And
Suppose, huh?
yeah, then
Yeah.
there are some photographers who will say, I'm not going to do that. That's cheesy. right? And I respect that, and I used to do that. But bottom line, you don't know what style is.
Mhm.
Most couples don't know what the style is. Most couples don't know the definitions of types of styles of whatever. They saw something on Instagram, they saw something on Reddit, they maybe read the caption. We have a lot of couples who come and say, we want editorial and documentary photography.
Mm.
And probably almost everyone understands what documentary is. But
Mhm.
when it comes to editorial, it's been so overused that a lot of people think that editorial is candid. And
Mhm.
it's the opposite of that,
Yeah.
the complete opposite. But it's being sold as that.
Mhm.
Now, when you're saying, I want editorial, it means that you want very post, very controlled, um, very staged shoot where you will have nothing left of who you are and you will spend a lot of time on doing that. That's
Mhm.
editorial. This is what we have in vogue when we have a lot of setup, a lot of planning for just that shoot. Uh, and that said, when we say documentary and people show portraits that are candid in documentary, if you take in portraits, they cannot be candid. They cannot
Mm.
be documentary because the second you're aware I'm there, it's already not candid.
Yeah.
You're not typically going in the park hugging. You're not typically sitting on the bench kissing. You're like you
Mhm.
or standing back to back and some like or doing those weird things. And it's not to say whatever is good and whatever is bad. It's to understand what you actually want. We
Yeah.
just did a wedding with a beautiful couple, and she said, I want nothing post. I want everything candid. All our formal photos should
Mm.
be candid.
Mm.
And I used to try and go and do explanations and saying all those things that this is not that, and was just like, please show me what your inspiration is.
Oh, that's a good way of
I
doing that.
want to
Yeah,
see what
instead
you
of like,
mean.
let me
Yeah.
educate you on the words, instead
Yes.
it's like visually show me
Yes.
what you
And
want.
no one likes to be educated.
No.
Yeah.
And our audience, they don't want to be educated. They don't want to be told like, oh, like you were not right. You were
They just
incorrect.
want to be
Yes.
understood.
We just and we want to give you what you want. In order to do that, we need to see an example, and because maybe you don't know how to describe it. I'm almost 50 years old. Most of the things that I don't know. Like just like I'm trying to describe it. I'm bad with that. My wife is great with that. um, so the bride sends me photos, and some of them are mine.
No, no way.
And she was on the website, and some
Yeah.
of them are not. And I'm like, but people do not look one at another in any photo.
Mhm.
And some are like really, really like cheesy, over the top, like very, very not candid. And I'm saying, did you know that all of that is very posed? And she's like, yes, but it's all candid.
Yeah.
So for that
Girl, like you need to look up
beautiful
what
cup,
candid
for that
means.
beautiful bride, right? Candid means we don't look at one at another.
Um,
Hmm.
So you don't want to go and try to force your, thoughts on the couple. And I'm talking to the couple. You want to look for someone who will listen to you, who will try to understand what you actually want and make sure that they deliver what you want.
yeah.
There will be photographers who will say, I don't do that. That's cheesy. That's not my style. That's whatever. And that's legitimate as well. And obviously, if you seeing that, that's not your person. Uh, but also on the flip side, there are photographers who showing certain things because they like to show certain things, or they think
Mhm.
this is the best way to sell themselves. And it doesn't mean that they cannot or wouldn't do something that you want.
Mm.
So if you are vibing with a person, if you like what they write, if you like what they do in life, maybe they listen to the same music as you are, and you spoke to them and you don't see the same style and their Instagram or maybe even website, but her like Again, looking at the whole gallery always helps, but also saying, hey, like I don't like dark and moody, and all your photos are dark and moody. Can we make it lighter?
Hmm.
If you're talking to a seasoned good photographer, they will say, sure, it's easier because I need to do less work editing. But I like this style. I will, right? So I'm editing this way. I can always flip it. We're shooting weddings, and we're shooting mitzvahs, and we're shooting corporate parties. You cannot do same style for all those things. If
Mhm.
I'm shooting wedding again, in the plaza, which is dark or can be very colorful, but dark and moody, and
Hmm.
I'm shooting 12 years old girl birthday party, it cannot look the same. Kids party is not a wedding. There's not going to be art. There's not going to be moodiness. There's not going to be romance, right? It's going to be
Yeah.
light, bright, and fun and sharp.
So I
Do
guess
I have,
that's one thing to look for, right? On a website or Instagram is their range. Like, are they able to adapt to different styles?
yes, but also it's important to ask.
Yeah.
If you if you guys talking to a person and you like the person, you like the vendor, ask them, hey, I like this. Can you do this? Can you? Great, you can show me
Yeah.
if they can show you, because there's plenty of stuff that I'm not post. Like Instagram is limited. No one is
Yeah.
going
Right.
more than 2 screens. Website, people click, see the first photo, maybe deep down, like 3 pages. That's it. I did, I don't know, 500 weddings, right? Uh, some of them look very different than what website is.
Yeah.
Some people look for my style that I had 5 years ago, and they saw photos from back then, and they're like, "Oh, you don't do that anymore." Like, yes, whatever you want.
I
So
Yeah.
can.
with
Yeah.
time, we learn to be very flexible. We
Yeah.
don't say, "I don't do that." I'm a photographer. I'm seasoned. I'm experienced, and I'm here to deliver you what you want. This
Yeah.
is not for me. This is for you. It's for the couple. I can do whatever you want. I just need to know what you want, what your style is. If you vibe with me, I will deliver that. And if you tell me I want specific beach wedding in very bright light that is dark, I don't do that because I don't do that.
Hmm.
Period. Um,
Got it.
but most of the things I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So communication is very important, and a lot of people, they send question, they get reply, they see 3 photos, and they say that's not my style, that's not my photographer,
Hmm.
and then they
Mhm.
hire someone who they saw the photo they think they like, and that person didn't deliver. It's better to find someone who is more flexible and can do different styles,
Yeah.
because it shows that they can adapt to any situation. And I can kind of translate it into real life, into real wedding day, where if you're getting married in New York or in California or in Miami in the summer, you will have very bright outside, you will have very dark inside.
Hmm.
You will have nice and green and bright in the park, and you will have candlelight and yellow in the venue. You might have very steady and beautiful light inside and horrible harsh light outside. If I
Yeah.
am light and bright photographer, there's no way I can deliver photos in the dark venue.
Hmm.
It's impossible, because it just cannot be. Right? If I'm dark and moody, I cannot deliver like true color, real like park photos, because it's dark and moody.
Yeah.
So when people look true to color photography, which is very trendy now, they don't really know what is true to color, because that true to color will be very different in all those 3 settings.
Yeah.
And during the long wedding day, it all changes all the time. So if I'm great at one segment of that, I am a bad photographer. If I can consistently deliver great photos in different styles from all of those places, I am a good photographer. But people tend to show what they're best at. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
great at photography, like outside. by the lake. Maybe I'm doing great candid photos in the dark, but put me under harsh sun. It's like, done. So asking,
Mother Nature
communicating,
wins.
making sure that your photographer can deliver all of it is very, very, very important. Film photography. Should we touch on that?
Well,
We can, yeah.
we can, but we're running up on time. So
Okay.
we're going to
Next
have you
time.
back, I think, is what we're going to do. So
I know, and I am interested to hear the film because I've been getting a lot of galleries back, and it's just been mostly just regular photos, but then they'll have a smaller album with like 5 to 10 film photos, which is cool, a little bit of both.
That's great. So I have like 2 minutes on that. But nowadays, everyone is getting photos in still digital format. So if I'm going to shooting on film, then I'm going to scan it and you will get scanned photo. And eventually it looks, unfortunately or fortunately, the same as what I would style as film and shoot digital.
Oh, okay.
And my modern tools and good skills, you don't need to be a great editor. You just need to have presets or like know what you're doing and feel the color. You can deliver whatever you want out of well-taken digital photo. Or actually, if the photo came out bad and blurry and you couldn't deal with colors and light, you can make it black and white, style it as great black and white photo film, and it will be perfect. We did exercise at one of the conferences. We gathered like 15 photographers, all seasoned, and I'm not going to say what, like any details, not to put anyone on the spot. The whoever was conducting it, they put photos on the screen, and we're running through it. It's like, what's film, what's not, what's like, and people do not like, can't find the difference if it's styled well. Guess what? Wedding couples have no idea what is film. They like the idea. They saw something and it said film. So now they think that this shade of yellow and this shape of whatever, and maybe this frame is film.
Makes it film.
Yeah.
Right? There are hundreds types of film. They all in different shades of different colors. Black and white films are completely different. And I have preset for every single popular film. So
I love it.
We want to save couples money and risk on doing film photography. Like a bunch of photographers want to kill me now.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the film. They want the idea. They like the idea of film. So
I think it's only people that know about film that really value actual film. But I think you're right. The general majority population of people just like the feel of it.
It's a lot of joy to photograph on film, especially if you develop it yourself, which no one does most of the time.
Like I do have a film camera and I bring it around with me everywhere. It's not fancy by any means, but it definitely
doesn't need to be.
Just fun to get the photos back. So
well, and it's funny because you guys talking about it takes me back to my photography class in high school and how awful the chemicals smelled when we would develop the film, and we'd have to go in the dark lab and do it all. It just took me all that smell was horrible. Anyway,
I love the smell, magical.
Oh, see, that's why you're the photographer and I'm not. Anyway. All right, Julian, we can't thank you enough for being here today and educating us. How will our audience get in touch with you? Possibly bring you to California?
Absolutely. So you can find me at Julian Ribinik with all I's, Ribinik Studios on Instagram, JulianRibinikWeddings.com, and Julian Ribinik Studios on all other platforms, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
I love it. All right. And we will have all of Julian's information in our show notes. Julian, we can't thank you enough for being here today. You're the best.
Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Now That I'm Engaged, How Do I Get Married podcast.
Brought to you by Fantasy Sound Event Services.
I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. Please get in touch with me or August if you have any topic you would like us to cover.
Or if you're struggling with your wedding planning, please be sure to submit a question to podcast@fantasysound.com.
I encourage you to check out our other episodes on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you're a fan, we'd love if you would subscribe to the podcast and leave a review.
It helps others find our podcast so that they can learn from our guests too. And to everybody listening,
Happy wedding planning!